What is going on, guys, and welcome back to another video. In this one, we are going to be diving into why men feel so lost. Men. That's exactly who this channel was designed to help. I've said many times that if I could flip a switch and have these videos and this channel only accessible to men, I would. This is one of the most common DMs that I personally get on a daily basis. Every single day, I have multiple men reach out to me. It's usually through Instagram, and they say this. They say, "Brandon, I feel lost and I don't know what to do." And every single DM that I get like that is like an arrow straight into my heart because I've been there. But why is that? Why do men feel so much more lost now than ever? I used to ask God, I would say, "God, why did you put me on this earth to live out such a meaningless existence? It doesn't feel like I have any purpose. It doesn't feel like my life is going anywhere. What's the point of all of this?" It just so happens that it's also Mental Health Awareness Month for men, but I'm here to tell you that nobody cares at the end of the day. The sad reality is that men aren't valued in society unless they have something to offer. And people will say, "Oh, well, that's not cool, you know? We need to value men for more than what they just have to offer." But we're not going to sit around and sulk about it. That's not the solution, to sit around and cry about it, to think, "Oh, society doesn't care about me unless I have something to offer." We're not going to do that. The solution is men finding power within themselves. That might sound a little bit cheesy, empowering men. But that's exactly what has to be done. And that's exactly the reason why we're in the middle of a masculinity crisis, is because men are lost. They have no idea where to go. The road is covered. It's about finding who you truly are and living in accordance with that. Living in congruence with that. And you can't do that if you're lost and you don't know where you're going. So I'm going to give you a couple of steps that I want you to go through. Most of them are questions that I want you to ask yourself in order to help you get your power back. All right? These are all questions that I personally asked myself, and I personally wrote down. I was just copying this off of a notes document on my phone that I wrote down 6 years ago. So when I was 19 years old, when I was a man, I was coming of age, I was leaving the house, I was going off of my own, I was assuming responsibilities. That is when I had this aha moment and said, "I'm going out into the world and I don't even know who I want to be. I don't know what kind of change I want to affect on the world." I felt lost. So I needed to ask myself these questions, and I knew that I needed to write them down. Nobody even told me to do this. It was a hole, a gap that I could feel in my soul. There's something missing. And if I go out into this world that I know is so incredibly fucked up, I am going to be changed by the world instead of me doing the changing. Instead of me having an impact, I am going to be changed. Step number 1, knowing who you truly are. Now, this is very, very different when you don't have a blueprint, all right? No one is going to hand the blueprint to you. Like I said, this is something that you have to come up with on your own. I have my blueprint. You can take things from it. You can implement other things. But at the end of the day, it's up to you to find it. You have to ask yourself these questions, all right? The first question is going to be, who do I want to be like? It so happens to be Father's Day today, in the middle of Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. Men are lacking role models. Now more than ever, a lot of children grow up fatherless. Society doesn't really seem to be that as a problem. They're like, oh, thank goodness. These kids aren't going to be toxically masculine because they don't have a father figure in their lives. What do you want to stand for? What do you want to be known for? Ask yourself that. After you're gone, when people say, you remember him? He was this type of man. What do you want to fill the blanks there? Ask yourself, who do I want to stand against? This is just as important of a question as what do I want to stand for? Because what this does is it creates contrast. And it carves out who you are as a person. Think about Michelangelo building a beautiful sculpture. He can see the sculpture, but he has to carve it out. He has to chip away at the unwanted things. It creates that contrast. The contrast between the light of you and the darkness of the world. What you can't let seep into your personhood, into your identity. You have to create that contrast for yourself or you will be washed away. Number 2, what kind of work are you going to do? Because the truth is, your work is going to define you. How you work is going to define you. How a man does something is how a man does everything. If you half-ass the little things, you are going to half-ass the things that actually matter. And this is one of the most common things for men to be comfortable with in today's society, is half-assing their work. Having no problem with sitting on company time, screwing off on their phones, doing just as much that they can possibly do to scrape by so that the supervisor doesn't notice that you're being lazy, so that you can collect that paycheck at the end of every single week. So many men are half-assing their work. I don't care if you hate your boss. I don't care if you don't like the company that you work for. Your work is what defines you. And if you half-ass this, you're going to half-ass what counts. So make sure that you are valuing the work of your own hands. You are made in the image of God, and God is a creator. He wants you to understand that your work draws you closer to Him. It puts you in congruence with your Creator. Number 3, what kind of God do you worship? Do you worship the God of comfort? Do you worship vices? Do you worship sex? When I ask this question, some of you guys may even say, well, I don't believe in a God. I don't worship a God. I'm atheist. Trust me. Every man worships something. Every man has a God. And it is up to you to decide if that is an all-loving, all-powerful God, or if it is something that is a vice that is going to control you. Number 4, what are your core beliefs? A lot of people don't even know what their core beliefs. A lot of people don't like to sit down and establish what their core beliefs are because it puts them in opposition usually to other people that they know. Maybe you believe something that your friends wouldn't agree with. That's part of what makes you you. And if you truly believe that, you aren't standing up for that and you're not willing to label that as one of your core beliefs, you're getting washed away by the world. You haven't created contrast. The world is encroaching on you. Number 5, ask yourself, how will I best be able to help others? This is an incredibly important question to ask yourself as a man, because if you were born a man, you were born a leader. And to lead is not simply to command and to boss people around. To lead is also a sacrifice. The simple answer to how you will best help others as a man is going inwards first and becoming the best version of yourself that you can possibly be. Now let's dive in a little bit deeper into what this actually means, because a lot of people say, oh, just become the best version of yourself, become the nicest, person to everybody else, don't disagree with others. That's not what I'm saying at all. A lot of people think that going inwards is something that's selfish. When you dive in, you ask yourself the hard questions. You take time for yourself. You blot out other people for a while. You stop hanging out with people that are a bad influence on you. People will call you selfish. As a man, you must put on your mask first before helping others. If you've ever seen that in the flight manuals, please put on your mask before you help others. If you cannot get your own life in congruence with who you are, if you don't know what your core beliefs are, you lose so much value as a man. You lose so much value. Even if you disagree with others, you not being a firm foundation and knowing the answers to these questions is killing you. It's making you feel lost. It's making you feel depressed. A man living in truth and in congruence is a blessing to those around him. And if this means taking time for yourself, if this means separating yourself from others that are having negative influences on you, that's exactly what you have to do a lot of the time in order to find what makes you you, what beliefs you hold. And so I'm going to end this off by telling you how I answered a lot of these questions. I have a series of beliefs, things that I believe to be true, and I do my best every single day to live in accordance with every single one of these. Who am I? I am the man who believes that God is the creator of the universe, that ultimately my purpose on this earth is to serve Him, and I have to submit to Him. Submission is built into our framework. And so whether you decide to submit to the God of the universe or you decide to submit to something else is up to be determined. Because you can't just leave that space empty. You are going to serve something. So submit yourself to the right thing. I'm a man that believes that suffering is a crucial aspect of man's existence. When I suffer, I don't think, why is this happening? I don't think, what is the point of life? This suffering is so terrible, I can't take it anymore. I look at it as a good thing. I spin it. That is part of our job as men. I believe that hard work brings fulfillment. A lot of you guys out there, that's one of the biggest things that you can do is just simply start taking pride in your work, and you will notice a massive shift in every single aspect of your life. I, as a man, believe that pain is the best teacher. When I go through pain, when I go through heartbreak, I learn from my mistakes. I see it as a time to grow, to become better. And then ultimately, I can take that information and give it to others. I believe that I should be set apart from the world, both in body and in mind, and in spirit. What does it mean to be set apart in the body? I practice celibacy. People don't understand that. People say, why? That's ridiculous. Everybody else out there is having sex. Go do it. It's a part of society. It's normal. Nobody's going to want to marry you if you're waiting till marriage to have sex. I don't care. I believe that I am called to be set apart from everybody else. What I do with my body is not what everybody else does with their body. I am okay with being the black sheep. I am okay with living that way. What does it mean to be set apart in the mind? You think differently. You don't wallow in sorrow. You don't wallow in anguish, thinking, how terrible is it for me, this existence? You don't sit in that. You go and you work. You see the pain as something that is teaching you. What does it mean to be set apart in spirit? You ultimately do things out of good intentions to the best of your ability. To the best of your ability, you do your work to help others, and you try to keep your motives as pure as possible. It's incredibly difficult, but you have to constantly be monitoring yourself. I believe that respect and submission are built into the masculine ego for a reason, not out of selfish ambition or vanity. I believe that men desire above all else to be respected. I think that part of us doing hard work is the fact that others do respect us. And to be respected as a man is far greater than to be loved. So chase respect, and you will find a lot more fulfillment. It is the job of every man to seek out pain if he finds himself becoming too complacent. I used to take cold showers every single morning. I used to go for runs regularly when I felt like I wasn't experiencing enough hardship. Because what happens with men is when there isn't a battle to be fought, the battle wages in the mind. The mind starts to self-destruct when a man is not going through the amount of pain that he should be enduring on the outside on a daily basis. That battle begins to be fought in the mind. And so many men lose that battle. So many men unalive themselves. It's not because their external life is just sheer torture most of the time. It's because their mind is in disarray. Things have become so easy that the mind, in an attempt to create challenge and hardship, to continue to grow, has started to fight itself. And the last one, I am a man who believes that this battle will last a lifetime. Just like the battle with lust, this is not something that will be easily conquered. This is a battle you have to wake up and fight every single day. There is no end in sight. Your existence has become the war. Even if you apply every single one of these things now, even if you write down the answers to every single one of these questions, it doesn't mean that all of a sudden you're fine. This is something that you have to fight to uphold. You have to wake up every single morning ready for war. That's what it feels like in order to maintain this. That's what it feels like to be set apart in your mind and your body. That's what it feels like to regularly chase discomfort, to regularly chase growth, to uphold your values, your core beliefs, to make sure that you are worshiping the right thing, to make sure that you are doing hard work. It feels like a war. And once you start fighting that war, you start living in congruence with exactly who you should be. I hope this video helped some of you guys. If you guys watched all the way through to the end of the video, make sure that you drop a thumbs up down below, as well as a like on the video, and I will see you guys all in the next one. Peace.